take that Land Rover to my brother's house. He lives in Kansas, and to tear it apart and rebuild it and get it all ready. And the plan was to come back to South America and then spend a few years living out of that rooftop tent and creating content. Unfortunately, the problems with that $10,000 Land Rover were a lot more than I thought. And so I just can't afford to fix the Land Rover. So it probably needs another $15,000 or $20,000 of work on it before it's ready to actually come south and do the kind of trips that I wanted to do. So if you've watched the Shifty Drifty channel, you've seen me go down to Mexico a few times, up into Canada, do some fun stuff, and then it sort of ends. And the reason it ends is I don't have enough money to keep going with that vehicle. It's been a challenge because the resources I used to have aren't there. And so I'm depending on viewer support and partnerships. And for the most part, people watching the videos are incredibly supportive. But as you mentioned, it's mind-boggling to me that I'll look on my YouTube analytics page and all that stuff, and I'll look at the comments, and the vast majority of people asking for new content, suggesting things, haven't even subscribed to the channel. And so, I'm like, so you want me to invest my life and my talent and my experience to create content for you for free, and in exchange, you have not even clicked a button? That sometimes can be frustrating.
Yeah. So
for you people out there who are watching Camera Shake and have for a while, and you haven't even clicked the subscribe button, go ahead, click it. It's seems like a small thing, but it's not. It's the lifeblood of content like this. And so the only way to make sure that you actually get the content that your favorite creators are creating on YouTube is to turn on the bell and turn on notifications. That's why every single channel out there is saying, please turn on the bell and turn on the notifications, because that's how they get to you. I'm sounding like a grumpy old man.
No, but it's absolutely true. And a lot of the time, when people are just sort of casually listening to to this content, or casually watching YouTube videos, of course, all of that behind the scenes, the engine that drives all that kind of stuff, all the details behind that are sort of hidden from the regular viewer, and
right.
It might just be sort of an annoying thing. You watch a YouTube video and somebody again says, like and subscribe, and you go, God, that's really annoying. But actually, it's much more important than you think at that point,
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, then press here for the full episode in glorious Technicolor. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe.